Welcome back to another Genshin Impact recipe. Today I'm recreating the coffee Baravois, obtained from Fontaine. This is a variation of the classic French dessert. Let's dive right in, but before we get started, please remember that the written recipe is in the description below, and please subscribe for more Genshin Impact food content. Without further ado, let's begin. To start off, begin by combining the gelatin powder with water. Set this aside for at least 5 minutes to allow the gelatin to bloom. For the molds, there's a wide variation of what you can use. These ridge pudding molds I found on the internet were the closest designs I could find. If you found one that is more precise, even better. But honestly, use whatever is available to you. So Baravois, or Bavarian Cream, is a dessert where custard and whipped cream are combined. So we pour heavy whipping cream into a bowl and whip using an electric whisk until medium peaks form. You could hand whisk this, but prepare for quite the arm workout. Once the cream has been whipped, leave it in the fridge until it is time to combine with the custard. Moving over to the custard, heat up the milk in a saucepan on medium heat. We want the milk to be heated through, but not boiling. In a large bowl, separate the egg yolks from egg whites, and then combine the egg yolks with sugar until the mixture becomes a pale yellow. Once the milk has been heated, pour a ladle of the hot milk into the bowl. Whisk this together to temper the egg mixture and prevent any scrambled eggs from happening. Once the eggs have been tempered, add the rest of the milk mixture and pour all of it back into the saucepan. Heat this mixture on medium heat until you see steam, but do not let it boil. Turn off the heat and add in the gelatin. Whisk in the gelatin until it is fully dissolved. Strain the custard into a bowl and let it cool to at least room temperature. An ice bath can help with this. I forgot to add this earlier, but whisk in some vanilla extract as well. Once the custard is cooled, fold in the whipped cream until fully combined. Scoop the mixture into the molds until they are about 2/3 of the way filled. Leave some space for the coffee layer later. Leave these in the fridge to solidify for about 3 hours. After the necessary time has passed, we can begin on the coffee layer. So we'll be repeating the exact same steps, except I am cutting all of the measurements in half. This is optional. You can just use the exact same measurements as the other layer, but you will have some leftovers which could be enjoyed separately, so it's not a complete loss. Whip the cream and leave in the fridge until ready. Combine egg yolks and sugar in a bowl until pale, and then slowly add heated milk. Now here is the main difference. However much coffee you plan to add, you have to reduce the amount of milk normally used. So here I'm using 1/4 cup of milk because I know I'll be adding 2 shots or 1/4 cup of espresso into this mixture. Once the custard is back in the saucepan, add in the espresso and heat on medium heat. Add in the gelatin, stir to fully dissolve, then strain into a bowl. I'm not adding vanilla extract because I want the coffee layer's bitterness to come through, but you can add vanilla extract if you want extra sweet dessert. Let the coffee custard cool completely, then add in the whipped cream. Carefully pour into the molds to the top. I did not go all the way to the edges of the mold, and I actually regret that, as you'll see later in the video. Let this solidify in the fridge for another 2 to 3 hours. The final step is the Mocha Sauce. You could use store-bought syrup or sauce, that's perfectly fine, but if you want to make your own, here's how. In a saucepan, combine equal parts water and sugar, heat on medium heat, and stir until all of the sugar is dissolved. Next, I'm adding cocoa powder and instant coffee, equal amounts, and stirring until fully dissolved. Let the sauce simmer for a few minutes, then let it cool to room temperature before using. Now it's time to assemble. The best way to remove the dessert from the molds is to dip them in a bowl of warm water. Do not let any water get into the molds. Use a toothpick to remove from the sides if absolutely necessary. Flip onto a plate, give it a few taps, and it should release. Now earlier, I said I regret not filling all the way to the edges. As you can see, my coffee layer is a little lacking. Even though my molds are not exactly like the one in game, I could have made it a little taller if I filled to the edges. Spoon the mocha sauce around the dessert, and then over the dessert itself. For garnishes, place 2 coffee beans on the center top of the Baravois. Are you gonna eat those coffee beans? Most likely not, but Genshin loves inedible garnishes. I could do a whole rant about this. Then chocolate pieces scattered around the plate, and that completes the coffee Baravois from Genshin Impact. A little time intensive, but the actual cooking process is very short and simple. Let me know your thoughts, and if there's anything else from Genshin you'd like to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.